picture this scenario. You're lying awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, and your mind is racing through every possible financial disaster that could strike tomorrow. On paper, you have a great career. You went to the good school, landed the respectable job, and you make $80, $90, or even $100,000 a year. Your parents are proud, your friends think you've made it, and you drive a beautiful, impressive car. But in the quiet of the night, you know the truth. You are completely paralyzed. You look at your bank account, and despite your high salary, you're secretly sweating over an upcoming utility bill or a minor car repair. If you lost your job tomorrow, your entire lifestyle would collapse within weeks. You are locked inside a golden cage, and the worst part is, you built it yourself. Spoiler alert, you aren't crazy, and you aren't alone. You've just fallen into a carefully designed economic trap. It's just the math, and the math is absolutely brutal. We've normalized a lifestyle where we spend 40 years of our lives working jobs we might not even like, just to buy things we don't need, to impress people we don't particularly care about. We trade our peak energy and time for a shiny metal box in the driveway and a slightly larger kitchen with granite countertops. But the math behind this script is completely broken. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why millions of hardworking, intelligent professionals are quietly drowning in debt while pretending they're living the dream. If you've ever felt like your income goes up but your stress level stays exactly the same, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it ends up helping you see your paycheck differently. Today, we're going to look at the anatomy of the golden cage. We're going to examine why a traditional successful career is mathematically designed to keep you broke, and more importantly, how you can actually rewrite the rules to buy back your absolute freedom. Let's start with the math of responsible adulthood, which is actually a masterclass in wealth destruction. The moment you land that professional job, society hands you a specific playbook. Step 1: buy a respectable starter home in a good neighborhood. Step 2: finance or lease a reliable, flashy vehicle. Step 3: pay the minimums on your massive student loans while putting the rest of your cash into lifestyle upgrades. But let's run the real numbers on a $500,000 house, which is now the default baseline in most major metro areas. If you scrape together 10% down, which takes the average household years of painful discipline to save, you are left with a $450,000 mortgage. At current interest rates, your principal and interest alone is roughly $2,800 a month. But nobody talks about the hidden drains. Add $500 a month in property taxes. Add $300 a month in homeowners insurance. Add another $300 in private mortgage insurance because you didn't put 20% down. And you must budget at least $400 a month for ongoing maintenance and repairs. Suddenly, your affordable dream home doesn't cost $2,800 a month. It costs over $4,300 every single month. That is nearly 50% of the take-home pay of a household earning $160,000 a year. Before you've bought a single bag of groceries, turned on the lights, or put gas in your car, half of your life's labor is already promised to a bank. And then we have the car. The average new car payment has crossed a staggering $700 per month. If you drive an SUV or a truck, that payment easily reaches $900 to $1,200 a month. We've normalized dropping nearly $1,000 a month on a depreciating piece of metal, completely ignoring the fact that it loses 20% of its value the second you drive it off the lot. Between your mortgage, your car, your student loans, and insurance, you have easily committed 70% of your take-home pay before you've even bought a single loaf of bread or turned on the lights. This is not wealth, this is a highly structured financial prison. When you stack these payments together, you eliminate all of your financial margin. And this is where the damage shifts from mathematical to psychological. When you have no margin, your brain operates in what psychologists call survival mode. Every single day, your brain is forced to operate in a constant state of fear and scarcity. The median savings account in America has around $8,000 in it. 1 in 3 Americans has less than $500 saved for emergencies. This means that when you are walking down the grocery aisle, your brain is burning immense mental energy doing calculations over whether you should buy the name brand pasta or the generic cardboard version. This is called decision fatigue. When every dollar is precious, every minor purchase requires mental gymnastics. By the end of the day, your brain's prefrontal cortex is completely exhausted. You are technically a high-earning professional, yet you carry the exact same daily psychological stress as someone living in poverty. Under this chronic pressure, your body continuously releases cortisol, the primary stress hormone. High cortisol levels don't just ruin your sleep and make you irritable, they literally shrink your cognitive perspective. When your mental bandwidth is entirely consumed by short-term survival and paying the next set of bills, your brain is incapable of thinking about long-term growth and opportunity. It is biologically impossible to plan a vacation when your house is actively on fire. You become reactive. When a minor car repair or a broken laptop feels like a catastrophic emergency, you are playing defense. You cannot look at the horizon because you are too busy looking at your feet, trying not to trip over the next bill. This lack of margin creates what I call the golden handcuffs. When your fixed monthly commitments consume almost your entire income, you lose your single most powerful asset, opportunity cost. Let's look at your career. When you have zero savings, you are trapped in whatever job you currently have. Your boss could be terrible, your coworkers toxic, and the work mind-numbing, but you cannot leave because you desperately need that next paycheck to pay the bank. You are negotiating from a position of absolute weakness. You can't ask for the raise you deserve because you're terrified of the consequences, and you can't push back on unreasonable demands because you need the job more than they need you. But the tragedy goes even deeper. When you are financially paralyzed, you become blind to the opportunities around you. Your friend mentions an exciting new startup looking for a small seed investment. Before, you would have loved to participate. Now, you have to move on because you don't have $5,000 to spare. A killer deal pops up on a local real estate property. You can only watch from the sidelines, feeling envious, because your cash flow is locked in depreciating assets. This is what wealthy people mean when they say money goes to money. Having money gives you options, and options are the true currency of wealth. So, how do you break the cycle? It requires a fundamental reset of your financial identity. You must shift your focus away from visible consumption and toward accumulating invisible, silent wealth. And it starts with hitting a number that sounds incredibly boring but is actually a complete psychological equilibrium, $20,000. Now, $20,000 is not going to buy you a yacht or make you rich overnight. But what it does do is create breathing room. For most households, $20,000 represents roughly 3 to 6 months of absolute baseline living expenses. The moment that money sits quietly in your account, something magical happens in your brain. The cortisol drops. The decision fatigue evaporates. You stop asking, how do I survive this week, and start asking, where do I want to position myself for the next 10 years? This is walking away money. It gives you the quiet confidence to carry yourself differently. You negotiate your salary from a position of strength because you are not desperate. You can take measured risks, invest in yourself, or walk away from bad deals because you are not desperate. You stop sweating the small, $3 coffee expenses because you are hyper-focused on optimizing the major elements of your balance sheet, your housing, your investments, and your time. Look, breaking away from the traditional middle-class script is incredibly uncomfortable. Your friends might judge you for driving an older, reliable Honda, and your family might wonder why you aren't upgrading your home. But there is no trophy for looking wealthy while quietly drowning in payments. Choose math over culture. Stop asking, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" and start asking, "What is the lifetime opportunity cost of this purchase?" Build your $20,000 foundation first, protect your cash flow fiercely, and give yourself the ultimate luxury, the freedom to say no. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it.